Now, something else that you spoke about is past behavior, as you mentioned, is like the number
Mm-hmm.
one predictor of how a person is going to act in the future. Now, what happens to people? Because sometimes you do have people that were really action oriented in the past, right? They were,
Mm-hmm.
super motivated, super fit, but then something happened, you know, in their life that pretty much
Yep.
stopped them
Yep.
from being the way they used to be. Like they're no longer as action oriented as they once were. They're not as motivated. Like what happens in those cases mentally to those people? Like what changed their behavior? Because they do have a track record of being
Yep.
action oriented. You know what I mean? So like what happens there?
Yep. So you can think of two things that will get you to do any behavior in the absence of, even in the absence of, so there's, you can go back a little bit. There's two different types of motivation, right? There's one very logical part of motivation. It's called reflective motivation. Oh, exercise is good for me. I should do it. And then there's another part called automatic motivation. Oh my God, my
Mm,
child's about to have a kid. I want to be able to pick up my grandkids and play on the floor with them. It's more emotional, right? It's more
mm,
affective. So you can think of two things that can really be in your favor in terms of automatic motivation. One is habit, and that's kind of what you're alluding to right now. So habit, okay, as we said before, it's an automatic response to a cue in a stable context. I talk to people all the time that used to have a habit for exercise. Okay, what happened? Something, the cue changed. They left college, they got a new job, they got new job responsibilities, they had an injury, they had kids, COVID happened. Their cue was removed and the automaticity was also removed. So again, if you remove the cue, you remove the automaticity, right? So you've probably experienced that before. Maybe you're driving somewhere, it's your habitual route, and you're like, oh my God, I was supposed to actually go somewhere different. That's a habit, right? And you're like, oh, how am I like still going this way?
mm-hmm,
So a
mm-hmm.
lot of times people have had a habit for something. Then something happens and the habit breaks. So habit is relying on an external cue. And then through that route, things go, the problem with that is years go by, people, and then if you don't use it, you're like, I'm becoming less strong, less aerobically fit, I probably gained weight. Now I feel shame. I'm exercising in a body that feels different, and that makes it all really, really challenging too. Um, the thing that you'll know too, because you read the book. The other thing that's more internal is identity. So if you are an exerciser,
Yep.
then it will not matter if your external cue is removed. People that said I'm an exerciser even when COVID happened, yes, they couldn't maybe go to the gym, but what could they do? They could get equipment at home. They could go out for walks. They were still active. So even though their cue was removed, they weren't relying on an external cue because it was something that was internal. There's a dark side to identity too. Like if I identify as a power lifter and I get hurt, that's tough. Versus if I just identify as, oh, yeah, I'm a strong person, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
aerobically fit. So same thing with like if I'm a marathon runner, I identify as a marathoner. Is you're not going to run marathons your whole life. I'm not going to do powerlifting my entire life. So make sure if you are
Yeah.
identifying with something, it's something that is not an extreme end of the identity. I'm sure athletes go through this all the time when they stop playing their sport too.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay. Exactly. So we will talk about, building identity because that is extremely important, right? Now, something that you mentioned is that there was a change in the cue that led them to being action oriented in the past, right? So can you
Mhm.
tell us, specifically if we're talking about being involved in exercise, what cues normally lead to people wanting to exercise? Because that can, I guess, give people, I guess, some examples of what they can bring into their life if they want to, have those cues that make it hard for them to kind of not exercise.
Yeah, is it what drives the initial motivation to do
Yeah,
something?
yeah,
Or okay,
yeah. The
cool.
cue. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yep. So then we'll even call that something a little bit different because like what is the thing that makes somebody want to change versus once you want to change, what's like your call to action, right? So there's a number of different things that could cause somebody to want to exercise. Honestly, it could just be, oh, I'm interested in this thing. Like that might be the simplest thing. Okay, like, hey, I saw this was good for me. I'm watching my social media feed. I'm interested in doing this thing. Change also comes from having a discrepancy. So you're like, okay, so for example, maybe someone's like, oh, I just realized I was totally winded walking up the stairs, and that wasn't the case 5 years ago. There's an event that where you're like, there's a discrepancy between where I am and where I should be, and that causes the desire to act. Of course, that needs to be paired with your belief, your confidence that you can do it, your capabilities that you can do it, and then the opportunity to do it as well. So there's like several things that need to be in place for that culminating event, which is having an intention to act. Now, once somebody has an intention to act, then there's a number of things that could be a cue. Cue is just like that action plan that we covered, or that call to action. So that's like,
Yeah.
so the calendar event can be just your prompt. So just think, just what can be the prompt. One thing I do is I can even set people up. You can get a text message nudge. Hey, you said you want to
Yeah.
exercise at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Okay, here's your 10 a.m. reminder. So you can get that all set up. So text message nudges are also highly effective, especially if you know it's coming from somebody else that's expecting you to respond. So the intention to act comes from any number of those things: discrepancy, interest, but also you need to have the opportunity to do it. And then your cue can be anything. It can be an existing event.
Yeah.
It can be a calendar invite. It can be an appointment. Yep.
God. Yeah, exactly. So pretty much, it seems like one of the main points is don't build your motivation for something based on something external, right? Like that's one of the main things. Cause, like I have like a few friends that they used to weightlift, to go and like attract girls, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
once they have a girlfriend, they just, they just completely fall
Yeah.
off. And I'm like, but that's pretty much what you're talking about. Like if you're making it, something external, you're not going to have that lifelong type consistency that you're looking for if you want to be involved, right? And then again with the cues, again it just comes down to social cues, pretty much these calendar events, text message reminders, and all these different things.
Yeah.
Now
You're
speaking,
tapping into it. Yeah.
mhm.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no. Like I was going to go on
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
building identity, but you can
Yeah.
like
Well,
add on to what you
you
were
brought up
saying.
a point. There's a decisional component to motivation, right?
Yeah.
Yes, no, I want to do this. There's a magnitude component. How motivated am I? There's a quality component
Hmm.
too. Like, what's my motive? So you can have your motives be either what's called more controlled or more autonomous. So controlled is like you're forcing yourself to do it. And then you can also even just think about, am I outcome oriented or am I identity oriented? But those more autonomous goals, you're doing it because, hey, this isn't something that I'm doing this not because I love it, but because it's going to get me something that I really care about. Like in exercise, it might be I really value my health. I value my physical functioning. I'm doing it because of that. You could do it because it's a part of your identity, or you could do it because it's just really love it, or you could do it's just involved in your own value structure. So I want the outcome. It helps me live up to my value structure. It's a part of my identity, or I just enjoy doing the thing. So yep, there's nitty gritty stuff about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then for me, like, to be honest, like there's no real problem with using external motivation, but at some point, like you have to kind of shift to something more internal, because if it's always external, you're probably going to burn out a lot quicker, and you're just not going to be
You won't be as consistent.
consistent. You
Yep.
won't be exactly.